Yeah, yeah. There's the, well, there's the, did you want to get his view? Yeah, it was a great trip.
And we're off. And Dave, you ready for an adventure?
I am very ready for an adventure. Are you ready for an adventure?
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
Off to Nashville.
Yeah, here.
Just a couple other, what's down there looking for cookies? I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that yet.
No. I'm glad you did.
And then Daryl is going to talk about the itinerary that you have in your folder, give you a general sense of what to expect looking at that itinerary, and then do appreciate that tomorrow and the following day, of course, and even on Sunday, we'll go into greater detail about what's on the itinerary, but Daryl will give you a general sense of things, and then Ken will also speak about that relationship that we do have with people in Nashville. Tom and Jay are trusted and beloved bus drivers, so we'll show them love all the way throughout the trip. Part of some of that love is giving them the time they need to rest and be alert and good drivers, which means we'll be stopping about every 4 hours just so they can change chairs, which will also give you the chance to step off the bus briefly, stretch your legs if you want to, get a refreshment, use another restroom if you like. But those will be brief stops, but they're stops we have to make to accommodate that. And that will go pretty quickly, but that will be coming up every 3-4 hours throughout the night, getting us to Franklin in the morning. But my name is Randall Dietrich, and I've been with the Historical Society about 10 years. Been working on this Civil War sesquicentennial period for the last 3. And I work with MHS, but kind of work as a liaison between the Historical Society and the State Task Force.
I'm Jackie Swanson, and I work at the Minnesota Historical Society, and I've been helping the Governor's Civil War Commemoration Task Force, taking minutes since its inception. And I do have a relative or an ancestor who was a Civil War veteran, my great grandfather, and so that has also been a special interest for me. And I hope to learn more on this trip as I did at Gettysburg, trying to keep myself steady here. All right.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ken Fleece, and I work with the Commemorative Task Force. I actually have been heading up a committee called the Soldier Recognition Committee, and the main goal of that is we've been doing a lot of events to recognize great historical events of the Civil War, and a lot of the aspects of those related to things like slavery and civil rights and a lot of other aspects. But this program has been mainly to honor the soldiers themselves and recognize them, and that's sort of what we'll be doing this weekend to some extent with this monument also. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. And this is my wife Millie, who puts up with all the stuff I'm doing. So.
Yeah, hi everyone. I just wanted to let you know that I am a very successful breast cancer survivor, so you're going to see me wear a hat the whole time. And really a pleasant family there, but it's so glad to be here.
I'm Brandon Peters. I'm a member of the task force. I'm from Owatonna. So, yeah. So I have a very
I'm very passionate about history, specifically the Civil War. I had a relative that fought in the war, so I look forward. I was on the trip to Gettysburg, so I am looking forward to this trip just as much. So it'll be awesome.
Hi everyone, I'm Cindy Hokinson and I'm Brandon's mom. And I get to go on these trips because of Brandon, so I appreciate that. I was talking to someone this week about how I was actually a horrible history student all through school. And so through Brandon, I'm able to become a student again and relearn, and I'm very excited to be on the trip this time. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you.
Most of the troops that fought in the Atlanta campaign and other places in the South, when they came south, they all came through Nashville, so it was a city of brothels and bars, and the local people there obviously were not happy with the whole situation. Also, the other thing is the Battle of Nashville, unlike Gettysburg and Shiloh, Antietam, and battles like that, was fought virtually right in this, what is the city of Nashville. And so after the war, because people were not happy with the situation, there wasn't much work that went on with preservation there. In fact, I read an account of a Confederate gunner who became a minister after the war, and like 10 years later he came to Nashville and he took the train out south of the city where the battle was, and he asked different people where the battlefield was, and no one could tell him where the battlefield is. So as you'll see, the battlefield is grown over by city for most intent. And although Nashville was a very large battlefield, the actual battle line in Nashville was 14 miles long, the largest battle line of any battle in the war. But as Mitch Rubenstein had said to me when we were there, he said it was sort of a series of skirmishes or battles in different parts of that vast battle line. So there wasn't like Gettysburg where there was action across the whole battle line at the same time. So anyway, because of all those factors, not much went on with preservation there. And until about maybe 15, 20 years ago, in Nashville, they did a survey of why European travelers come to Nashville, right? And so I think you could all guess the first reason people came to Nashville. And that was country music, right? But the second thing they found out that people put down was to visit Civil War battlefields. And so as a consequence, they started taking a much bigger interest in that in Nashville itself. Of course, people were coming and going to, from there they could go to Murfreesboro, they could go to Chickamauga, they could go to Shiloh, all those battles because Virginia has more battle sites in it than Tennessee does. So anyway, but the city of Nashville themselves were looking for ways to keep people there. So back in that time frame, an organization called the Battle of Nashville Preservation Society was formed, and they started looking at ways to acquire pieces of the battlefield, because there were still pieces of some of the forts that were called redoubts and other trenches and things like that existed. So this organization has just done an absolutely fabulous job, just like you'll see in Franklin. Franklin was the same thing. Franklin was a charge that was more deadly than Pickett's charge at Gettysburg, but yet there was virtually nothing that went on. General Claiborne, the famous Southern general, maybe their best fighting general, was buried in a Pizza Hut parking lot. He's not buried there, but the place where he died was right in a parking lot, and so the Cotton Gin is where a Pizza Hut is, and so forth and so on. But you'll see when you go there today that in Franklin, they're doing a tremendous job of preservation, and same thing in Nashville. So the Battle of Nashville is they now have parts of Shies Hill, some of the redoubts, different things like that, and they've just done a marvelous job of working with us, and they have a great respect for what Minnesota did there. That's why there's a Minnesota state flag is the only one on the hill where the battle was held. And so I think you'll find them very congenial people, and their interests are really strong in doing all the preservation they can. So it's I think it'll be a wonderful experience for you. Thank you.
So a quick overview of who we are and what's ahead, and I was going to plug in that video in a few minutes, and then like Daryl had mentioned, as you have questions, ask each other for that matter, or ask Daryl or I or Ken about logistics and details in the packet. But very glad that you could join us. Know that a lot of us have other things going on in our lives, it sounds like. Realizing that you can spend this weekend in a number of different ways, and you chose to spend it together here on this bus. And I appreciate that, and we all appreciate that, I think. So thanks for making the choice you did, and here's to a good weekend.
You're here.